When she was just a child, perhaps 3 or 4 years old, she spent hours in the backyard, sitting in a quiet corner, deep in conversation. To anyone watching, it seemed like nothing more than the innocent imagination of a child. But to her, these conversations were real conversations with her grandfather. The only strange part was that her grandfather had died before she was even born. Years passed, and at 9 years old, tragedy struck again. Her brother-in-law, after being in a coma for a year, passed away. The grief weighed heavily on her young heart. Just before her birthday, she broke down, sobbing uncontrollably in her room. She felt arms wrap around her, a comforting hug. Naturally, she thought it was her mother. She turned, expecting to see her mother there behind her, but to her surprise, the room was empty. She blinked in disbelief, wiping the tears from her eyes. That hug, it had felt so real, but there was no one there. That night, she awoke suddenly. The clock read 2:40 a.m. The air around her felt unusually warm, and everything in her room was bathed in a soft, golden light. The warmth wasn't just physical, it was a feeling of love, comfort, and safety. In the stillness of the night, she knew she wasn't alone. That golden light, that warmth, it was as if her grandfather and brother-in-law had come to comfort her, to let her know that they were still there, watching over her. The feeling of love and safety they left behind was something she would never forget. She would grow older, and the memory of that night would stay with her, a night where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred, and she was reminded that love, even in death, could still bring comfort.